Here at Ultimate Reloader, we just completely reorganized our range gear. In this video, I'm gonna go over all of the different pieces of gear that we take to the range each time we go shooting and how we've organized it all. Gavin here from ultimatereloader.com. If you're like me, when you get to the range, you like to get down to business, not waste any time,
impact,
and have all of the equipment, accessories, and tools that you need to get the job done. And so for us at Ultimate Reloader, it's been really important to up our game with how we package our gear and how we organize it, even some checklists and that kind of thing. So what I want to do is go through each of the new bags that we got, each of the collections of gear, and talk about how we put it all together and get it up to the range. Okay, so I'm going to start with our primary range bag. We've had a range bag like this for a long time, and we just upgraded to the 511 Range Ready 43 liter bag. And this has all of the essentials, all of the gear that we take to any range that we're going to here on site, regardless of what the activity is. So all of the contents that you see here are going to fit into this bag. We have our shooting folio. So I have a checklist here that's going to have all of this contents accounted for. Here's where we keep our targets. We have multiple styles of targets. Sometimes we use spots, and then we like to use manila folders for collections of targets. So when I'm doing a particular shooting project, I'll create a manila folder for it, label it, and then we can have all of our results and even some of the rifle build details. Sometimes those are helpful on the range. We've got an economy pair of digital calipers to measure sizes of groups, that sort of thing. So basically all of the paperwork is encapsulated in that folio. And then just making our way around here, we've got pens and pencils to annotate targets, TW25B muzzle thread grease. This is the best stuff that I've found. A chronograph. We've got batteries for a wide variety of things, for any of the battery-powered equipment that we take to the range. Kestrel, wind meter, a collection of tools. So we've got a Wheeler driver bit set that has the screwdriver handle. We've got the fat sticks that have torque limiters, the fat wrench, and then also a scope leveling kit. Now, we might not always bring each of these tool sets, but in some cases we need all of that. We also like to have a spare Allen key set, even though the driver bit set has different hex bit drivers for both inch and metric. Now for mounting targets, we have a T50 staple gun and T50 staples. We also keep staple guns at the target backstop in certain cases, like our mid-mountain range, so that for convenience, someone can go out there and set targets and not have to carry it back and forth, that sort of thing. A spare rear bag, just in case we don't have a primary. We use something like a Game Changer for our primary bag. We've got over-the-ear hearing protection. We've got eye protection, foamies. Sometimes we double up. If we're shooting the ELR gun or 50 BMG, something like that, we'll put in foamies and use over-the-ear muff style. Then we have a rangefinder and or binos. And so in this case, we've got range-finding binos from Athlon that work really good. And then this range ready bag comes with one of these spent brass shell casing bags that has a mesh bottom so that you can basically shake it. The dirt and debris comes out the bottom. Really, really great way to keep track of the brass for what you happen to be shooting at any period in time. Okay, so that's our primary range bag. Next, we're gonna move on to our optics bag. So here we've got our collection of spotters and target camera systems. And so we have a primary and a secondary spotting scope that we'll either use with or without camera systems. We've got the Longshot Hawk. It attaches to the back of the spotting scope, makes it really easy to connect to a phone or iPad, and we just record the screen or record to the camera roll, video, screen captures, that sort of thing. Very handy and very handy to use with a gearhead tripod where you can make micro adjustments for your elevation and windage axes. And we are looking for a padded bag for this. It needs to be about 28 inches long for this particular tripod, so that's another thing that we're going to be adding. For this gear, we're using, this is the Range Ready Trainer bag. It's a 50 liter bag. It has padded compartments inside, which makes it really nice. for the containment of this equipment. So we've got the Longshot Hawk. We also have the Longshot LR3. So the downside of the Hawk or any spotting scope is that you're going to pick up mirage. You do see trace and you see mirage, and that can be handy so that you can capture what the conditions looked like. Reading mirage and making wind calls go hand in hand, so it's really good information. But sometimes you want to see the target with utmost clarity, right? And so the LR3 system allows us to separate the transmitter and the receiver up to 2 miles, which is beyond kind of what we can do here at the property. But whether we're shooting 100 yards or shooting steel where we can get to the target, we can set up the transmitter, which has an inbuilt camera, and put the receiver by the shooting bench or the shooting station and use an iPad or a phone, something like that, to record the action there. So sometimes we'll use these in conjunction with each other, and they all go in this 50-liter bag. Okay, so next we're gonna talk about the other equipment that we bring to the range. So for shooting mats, we've got 2 options. We've got a traditional padded roll-up mat, which has probably been our most used shooting mat. I've also more recently taken a liking to this very thin cloth mat. It has no padding, it takes up hardly any space. I don't usually care. I don't usually need the padding. I don't like excessive padding in a shooting mat because your rear bag will have some give to it, and you want that rear bag as solidly on the ground as possible. So less padding to me is usually better. Some mats have a cutout with no padding for your rear bag for that exact purposes. We've got a primary rear bag. This is an Armageddon gear, game changer. We've got our medical gear. So this is a 511 Alhala 45-liter bag, and it has an assortment of different first aid supplies just in case we have an incident on range. Then we have the 511 42-inch double rifle bag. This is great. I usually roll with double bags because if I have 2 rifles that I'm going to bring to the range, they're separated by a padded separation liner, and that just protects the guns. And we're usually bringing multiple guns to go shooting, so less bags is typically better. We usually keep the magazine with the rifle and then also have a bipod attached in the bag if we're going to use it, just to keep the gear a little bit more consolidated. We'll also typically have 1, 2, or even 3 shooting tripods that we use for not only shooting but also for the spotters and sometimes even cameras now that we're using ARCA plates on everything. Finally, we have to think about ammo. Now this time we're going to go up and shoot with an AR-15. We have some of the ammo that we loaded from our Mojo Precision project, the 45,000 plus 223 cases that we just are in the middle of processing right now, and we've loaded up a bunch of ammo for. So that's the primary gear. I'm going to put everything into the bags, get it into the side-by-side, and we're going to go shooting. Okay, so everything fits nicely in the back of the side-by-side. I like to put the rifle case, if we're using one, up at the front so we can get things out and not be blocked. We'll unzip it, take the rifle out, leave the case in the side-by-side. We're working on racks for this side-by-side like we have in the other one, which is nice for either overhead or vertical gun storage while you're on the move. With all that gear loaded up, we are ready to roll. We're gonna also throw in just a little bit of camera gear and go shooting. All right, so I've got a sight-in to do, and that means my first order of business is going to be to get some targets hung. Time to shoot. All right, time to get set up at 100 yards. I'm going to go right under the target. Oh, nice. We're a little high. I can see it through the 6-power. This thing is tack sharp. This rifle shoots amazingly well. Okay, so we need to come down. That should be zeroed. This scope is amazing. So this is Going to be just a little offhand. This is a steel target from DM Targets that we have at 110 yards. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Well, that was really fun to go shooting, and I'm really liking our new range gear setup. This is working out real well. Couple little tweaks, and I think we're going to be all good. What I did want to do was show you some of the other fun shooting that we've done up here at the ridgeline. Impact. Just absolutely pasting that thing. Hit. Well, I have to say, after putting our new range gear setup through its initial paces, I'm loving this new setup. Definitely huge improvements over what we had before. I've only got a couple minor tweaks that I want to make to this system. And if you click on that first link in the video description, we'll have a complete breakdown of the gear and links to product pages for stuff like these awesome new 511 bags that we got, the long shot camera systems, and so on and so forth. Here's what I'd like to know is, what do you think of our new range gear setup? If you have specific comments on that, or if you have tips, tricks, or specific products that you'd like to share, drop a comment and we'll start that discussion down in that comments section. Thanks again for watching. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. If you're interested in custom rifles like what we build here on the channel, or gunsmithing services, you're going to want to go to rifles.ultimatereloader.com and get on the wait list. If you want to learn lucrative gunsmithing like what I show here on the channel, including building custom rifles and Cerakote plus a whole bunch more, you're going to want to check out the Colorado School of Trades, schooloftrades.edu. Thanks again for watching.